This is from the Daily Caller. A guy by the name of Mike McKenna is upset with John Boozman and other Rhino Republicans for backing a carbon tax. That's right, Arkansas's John Boozman. This was back on the 21st of January. The story reads, last Thursday, the Senate Committee on Environment and Public Works reported legislation, the Prove It Act. Now, according to McKenna, says it sets the stage and lays the foundation to impose a carbon dioxide tax on American families, workers, and consumers. So it's this idea of climate change and whether or not Republicans are going to reject the fake, phony presuppositions of the left that are based on lies and reject it altogether. Are they going to try to play ball and actually legitimize this idea that carbon dioxide drives up temperature and that we can change human behavior and control the weather? Now, you may think we can change human behavior and control the weather, but I don't. I don't think human behavior controls the weather. Maybe other equipment does. This new energy tax was voted out of committee 14-5 with 4 Republicans. Senator Kevin Cramer from North Dakota, an energy-producing state. Senator John Bowman from Arkansas, a Walmart-producing state. I added that part. Senator Graham of South Carolina, Flimsy Lindsay. And most inexplicably, Senator Cynthia Loomis from Wyoming, another energy-producing state. They joined 10 Democrats on the committee to create this new tax. 5 Republicans, led by Senator Capito from West Virginia, voted against the new energy tax. Like all energy taxes, this one will fall hardest on the poor. Unbelievable. It'll fall hardest on the poor, the elderly, those on fixed incomes, and local institutions that have limited budgets like schools and hospitals. The legislation sponsors, which include Senator Cramer, have tried to disguise the actual intention of the legislation. So, because, the way that McKenna here in this Daily Caller piece is describing it, that somebody like Senator John Boozman is going to dispute this characterization. I voted for a tax increase. So how are they going to disguise it? So they're trying to disguise the actual intention of the legislation, which is to increase the price of energy and everything grown, made, or transported with energy in an attempt to address global warming with propaganda about being tough on our trade competitors, including China. So that's what it'll be. It's to fight China. The charade is so embarrassingly thin, though, that even Politico ignored it and declared it a headline. Senate OK's carbon tariff. Man, what a great synonym for the word tax. I promised no new tax increases, but I didn't say anything about tariff increases. I didn't say anything about tariffs. I can increase your tariffs all day long because I didn't promise not to raise your tariffs. I promised not to raise your taxes. The legislation directs the team Biden over at the Department of Energy to set up the infrastructure that would be needed to tax imported goods based on their carbon dioxide content. These taxes, which are called tariffs, are imposed on imported goods, could be imposed by the executive branch without any congressional votes. Of course, that'll just raise prices everywhere else, folks. You know that. It's a tax increase. It's more money going to the government, the ever-ending purse strings of the government. Hopefully the House Republicans reject this, but yeah, there you have it. People are wondering why Republicans supported this, including, right there, you see it on your screen, Senator John Boozman from Arkansas say it ain't so. Yet here it is. Yeah. Yeah, so remember that the next time you're at, a Reagan Day dinner or a Lincoln Day dinner or whatever they're calling them these days. I just remember that story. Maybe come with questions, because at some point, and this continues to happen, when Washington, D.C. is just, the more I think about it, the solutions to our problems are not going to come from Washington, D.C. I don't think it's possible these days because we continually give these guys power to go fix our problems, and they continually come back to us with excuses as to why it can't be done. And there's no question that the people in charge of this country do not have the best interests of the average Americans at heart. There is too much money going around. There's too many people who are bought and paid for, too many people who are controlled, and who knows? Who knows? We all know, and this may get us removed off of Facebook, I don't know, but we all know what the Jeffrey Epstein situation was about. It was a blackmail operation similar to Hugh Hefner having cameras all over the Playboy Mansion. Okay, it was a blackmail intelligence gathering operation, and Jeffrey Epstein took it to the next level. And because they was no longer disgraceful, because we're getting sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker, it wasn't disgraceful to have somebody cheating on their wife and adultery. I mean, come on, look, vice presidential potential candidate for Trump's VP is Kristi Noem, and she's rumored to have an extramarital affair with Corey Lewandowski. Nikki Haley, being supported by every neocon and warmongering person in the world, has well documented had 2 extramarital affairs. Okay, so that's no longer disgraceful at all. So they needed somebody like Epstein to get people to do things that are still disgraceful and that you can be used against you to get you to do what. It's just a great way to tamp down the populist will of the people, and that's where we are. That's what people. That's what politicians are doing these days. Very, very few of them are not bought and paid for or totally sold out and loyal to particular interests. And I'm not saying every one of them is caught up in the Epstein scandal, but you know what? We're never going to know, are we? Are we ever going to know? We're never going to really know, are we, right? They got arrested and they got convicted of trafficking kids to no one.